Hi guys, welcome back to Sew with Abby channel. This video shows the sewing process of the corset that I cut in my last video. If you are interested on how to cut this, I'll be dropping the link in the comment section. So I already placed my pattern on my fabric and then I cut it out, and then I realized something. In my last video I didn't really explain the hip measurement I used properly. So I used my top hip, not the actual hip, which was not as much as my actual hip. Then I returned the 1 inch measurement for the dart before I added my seam allowance. While cutting on my fabric, I added seam allowance, and then at the top part and then at the edge there I added hem allowance, but I didn't add at the side because it was already added. Then I added stay to my fabric, and then I did the same to the back piece as well. The same thing to the lining, I added stay. So now the first thing I'll work on is the cup. I'll be covering up the cup. So this is the fabric I'll be making use of. I'll be folding the fabric into 4, and then I just want to get a circle from this. So watch me do this, and then I'll cut it out. Then I'll notch the mid part. So I'll come to the edge here, I'll measure 1 inch, and then to the other part as well I'll measure 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to the notched middle part. So I'll just cut, and then what I cut now, I'll be cutting another pair because it's for the 2 cups, and then I'll be adding stay on it. So I'll cut lining for it as well. So this is it. I already cut it out, and then I added stay, and then I cut out the lining as well. So I'll just go and sew this, and then I'll sew the other parts and then the lining. Alright guys, this is it. This is what I have, and then I'll just be using this to cover up my cup. But before I cover up the bra cup, I'll be holding that of about ½ inch. This is to make the cup firm. So I'll just hold the darts on the 2 bra cups. Alright guys, this is what I have. I can go ahead now to cover the bra cup with my fabric. So I'll just use pin to hold this so that it will be properly placed and firm, like that. So I'll just take it to the sewing machine and then I'll go and fix it. Okay guys, this is what I have. So I'm just going to trim off the excess, and then I'll place this aside, and then I'll work on the other part. The first thing I'll be working on here is the dart. I'll stitch the dart using ½ inch measurement. So I'll stitch it up, and then I'll do that to the other side. Now I have the dart stitched up, and the next thing I'm going to do is to create casing for the boning. So I already cut out a piece of the fabric, and then I'll be folding it like this, and then I'll sew it on the 2 darts as well. So I'll just go and do that. Alright, I already stitched the casing for the boning, and the next thing I'm going to do is to attach the bra cup to this part. So I'll locate the midpoint on the bra cup and then on the fabric as well. So I'll place my bra cup at the mid part of the fabric, and then use pin to hold it carefully like this, and then I'll do that to the other parts. So I'll take this to the sewing machine and then I'll stitch it, and then I'll stitch the other side as well. Alright guys, I have my cup attached to my fabric and you can see how it's turned out very nice. Next thing I'll do now is to fix in the boning into the casing. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. After this, I'll use the lining to turn the fabric in. As you can see, I already stitched the lining the same way I stitch my fabric, so I'll be turning it in on all sides, but I'll be leaving an opening to turn the fabric right out. Alright, this is what I have. You can see. Now I'm just going to work on the back piece. Now this is the back piece. I already stitched the darts, and the next thing I'll do is to create loop for the lace up. So I'm just going to take the piece of the fabric, and then I'll be cutting about 1 inch like this, and then I'll just stitch this to make a rope, and then I'll be cutting this. I'll be cutting about 2.5 inches. I'll be cutting as much as I want depending on the loop I want to create. Now I'm just going to mark where I want the loop to be, and then I'll take one of these and then I'll fold it like this and then place it on where I marked. I'll go ahead to stitch this and work on the second back piece as well. Now that the loops are created, I can go ahead to attach my lining to the 2 back pieces. I already stitched the darts on the lining as well, so I'll just go ahead to turn all the sides in, but I'll be leaving space to turn it out. Okay, this is what I have, and the next thing I'll do is to join the front piece and the back piece together. I'll be joining the front piece and the back piece together using my desired measurements. Now this is what I have, so you can decide to leave it like this if you want a 2 corset top, but I want to add strap to my own, so I'll be cutting out from my fabric. I want my strap to be long so that I'll be able to tie it to have this butterfly effect. So I'll just cut it out to my desired length, and this is what I have. So the next thing is to attach the strap on the top. So I'm just going to attach it to the line of the cup like this, and then to the back as well. So I'll do that to the 2 sides and then show us. Alright guys, I already joined my strap, and then I can tie it as I want like this. Okay. Now I'm just going to lace up this top, and I already stitched the rope I'll be using for it, and then we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you find this tutorial helpful, do not forget to like and share, and if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification so that whenever I drop new videos you will be notified.